Hey folks, welcome back to the channel for a trip down memory lane. Today we're immersing ourselves in the world of Clarence, a true hidden gem from the 2010s that managed to carve out a special place in the hearts of kids around the globe. Get ready as we embark on a journey through the entire history of Clarence. In this video, we're not just revisiting Clarence's journey, but also diving deep into some intriguing questions. Does Clarence harbor a mystery involving a lost brother? Who exactly is his father? And what's the deal with Regis Gilman's puzzling reluctance to move? But that's not all. We're unraveling the mysteries surrounding the actual ending of Clarence. What happened in the final moments? And how did the characters' stories conclude? Despite its modest 3-season run, this animated series managed to capture hearts, spark laughter, and leave us pondering. So, grab your favorite snacks, get comfy, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail. So, let's jump into the wonderful world of Clarence. Before we dive into the heart of Clarence's story, let's set the stage with a bit of context. Meet the Wendell family, with Mary at its core. Mary's journey begins as a happy kid with a peculiar puppet resembling Curious George and a furry companion named Milo.
Now where's the one for laundry detergent?
High school brought braces and a stint as a fast food restaurant servant. Post-graduation, Mary found love at prom, leading to a family with 2 kids, Clarence and the tragically lost Jeremy at just 7 months old. A mystery will unravel later, her relationship with Clarence's father. However, the loss of Jeremy took its toll, breaking Mary's connection with Clarence's dad, who blamed her. Throughout the show, he remained a distant figure, appearing only once at prom, a torn picture Mary wanted to forget. Despite the hardships, Mary became the perfect mom for Clarence, capturing every moment and providing him with a joyous childhood. Her romantic journey continued with Damian Dawson, but fear held her back. Enter Chad, a clown with a childlike spirit forming a unique yet successful connection with Mary.
Oh, I gotta get out of here. Chad! Chad! Oh, I hear Clarence.
Chad, where are you going?
Chad, though unconventional, brought balance to Mary's life. With Mary and Chad's stable relationship, Clarence faced a new chapter, joining a new school and embarking on adventures with his friends. From a quirky sleepover attempt, navigating a piñata mishap, bee stings, and even some unexpected rashes, Clarence, Jeff, and Sumo became the best of friends, marking the beginning of their crazy and hilarious journey together. What makes this show so amusing is that the adventures feel real, like stuff we did in our own childhood, using our imagination and doing silly things just like Clarence. I totally recommend this show. The trio's goofy antics even got them suspended from school a few times. Even though Jeff is a bit smarter, he somehow always ends up in trouble with them. Each of them has their own unique personality, making their adventures extra fun. Especially Clarence, who is the main character. He's innocent, not too bright, and acts more like a child than the others. Can you believe there was a time when Clarence actually ate something from the garbage? Oh, and let's not forget the time he tried to eat 500 eggs to challenge Belson. That's the kind of wacky stuff that happens in their world. Now let's focus on Jeff. He's a pretty balanced but intricate kid.
My name is Jeff Randall. I'm in the 4th grade.
Jeff likes to stay healthy, and he takes his studies seriously. However, there are times when things get a bit out of hand, and he becomes upset and even a little aggressive. Once, Clarence swiped his French fries and Jeff went a bit overboard. There was another time when Clarence got a girlfriend, and Jeff felt a twinge of jealousy. You see, Jeff thinks he's a bit better than the others because he believes he's smarter. But he's got a chance to show the world that he can be a good and fun friend, too.
No, we won't be taking the same classes together. We're still in the same grade, and it doesn't mean we can't be friends.
It's all part of growing up and learning to connect with people in a positive way. So Jeff might be a bit complicated, but he's on a journey to open up and be the kind of friend everyone can enjoy. Now let's shift our focus to Sumo. Sumo's living situation is a bit different from his friends. His family, with his dad Mel and mom Nona, faced some tough times because, well, they had a lot of kids without thinking too much about the future. They had to slow down eventually because they just couldn't manage anymore. Sumo, being the 3rd child among the 7, shares a van with his family, and things can get a bit messy. Despite all this, Sumo's pals treat him really well. Even though his growing up years are a bit on the sad side, he keeps his spirits up by using his imagination. For instance, he turns what others might call garbage into cool toys. The struggles with money and emotions sometimes show in his actions, A bit messy, but full of heart. And here's a surprising thing. Even at just 9 years old, Sumo starts to notice girls. His family isn't perfect, but his dad gives his best shot to put food on the table. When times get tough, he goes fishing to make sure his kids don't go hungry. His mom takes care of all her kids, even the older ones. It's not always smooth sailing, but they stick together through thick and thin. Now, let's dive into the peculiar world of Gilbin, who stands out as the quirkiest character among the crew. Brace yourself because this guy's got superpowers. In one episode, Jeff gives him a little nudge because Gilbin decided to munch on his board stars. The result? Gilbin goes through a bit of a transformation, becoming handicapped but gaining a set of teleporting skills. So now, he's the guy who pops in and out of scenes, appearing out of thin air throughout the show. His unique abilities become even more apparent, especially when he finds himself in a little scuffle with Jeff. The showdown took place during Jeff's birthday bash in the Big PD Pizza Problem episode. It's there that Gilbin's teleporting prowess comes to light, as he skillfully defends himself, inadvertently stealing the spotlight from Jeff. This unexpected twist not only adds a dash of weirdness to the show, but also turns Gilbin into one of the most intriguing characters in Clarence's world. Keep an eye out for this guy. You never know where he might pop up next. Shifting gears, let's zoom in on the trio and their adventures at school, where things get even weirder with some peculiar classmates. For instance, there's this giant girl with an unexpectedly deep voice. Clarence makes it sound so cool. Then we have Chelsea, the brainy and tough one, Percy, who's pretty much scared of everything, and the twin who looks a bit like a duck with a hanging cheek. But let's not forget Kimby, the shy girl who's always fidgeting with her hair, and Belson, the dude who brags about being rich and leader material. On the surface, Belson's issues might seem a bit shallow, but truth be told, he's got some serious problems. He's filled with hate and arrogance, and he's not the greatest son. His attitude problems stem from his dad leaving him and his mom giving him everything out of guilt. It's a bit complicated, but it adds an extra layer to the whole school scene in Clarence's world. Now let's dive into the most intriguing part of Clarence, his tendency to explore supernatural stuff.
Whoa, I think it's a didgeridoo.
He gets into some pretty wild things like puppets taking control of their owners, neighbors who seem like regular folks but has a mysterious twist, top dogs popping up out of nowhere, cursed boxes, and a mouse man chilling in the nursing home. All these cases turn Aberdale, the town where Clarence lives, into a mix of fascinating and a bit worrying. There's even a story about a lost baby named Lunas in Aberdale Woods. The tale goes that this little one was searching for a playmate but got lost, and folks claim they can still hear his cries from the woods. Jeff told Clarence and Sumo this as a spooky story, hinting that there might be parallel worlds in the Cartoon Network universe. In the Attack the Block Party episode, the kids watch a movie about a space visitor, and keen eyes notice it's from the Steven Universe show, thanks to the diamond on its belly. Clarence also takes inspiration from Adventure Time with characters like Gunter, a puppet, and even a nod to Finn and Jake. It's pretty clear. Clarence is like a bridge between different universes. Especially when you look at Over the Garden Wall, there's a connection. In the last episode, locations from Clarence, like the drive-through car wash and bowling arcade, make an appearance. The only missing piece is the hospital where Wirt woke up after coming out of the unknown. The worlds are almost identical, but not exactly the same. Like a puzzle where the pieces almost fit perfectly. This adds a whole new layer of mystery and excitement to the world Clarence explores. Adding another layer to this mystery, there's a pretty crucial detail connecting Clarence to other worlds. The talking tree with a human face. It's a bit like deja vu because it looks eerily similar to the tree from Over the Garden Wall. You know? That one created with the lost children's souls forever stuck in the unknown. In one episode, when Clarence heads to the forest at night, something interesting happens. You can spot the shadows of Wirt and Greg from Over the Garden Wall, moving and going on their own little adventure. It's like the worlds of Clarence and Over the Garden Wall are playing a little hide-and-seek, dropping these hints for us to notice. It makes you wonder just how intertwined these cartoon universes really are. Now, a theory that says characters from Over the Garden Wall sneaked into Clarence, adding a twist to the storyline. This might explain the striking resemblance between Chad and Rodrigo. And of course, Clarence isn't shy of mysteries. Take the Dreams episode, for example. Mary, Clarence's mom, went to a reading club and asked him to close the garage once he was done playing. But in a typical kid move, Clarence forgot all about it. As he dozed off watching TV, the show happened to be about the complexity of the mind and dream interpretation. Here's where it gets interesting. Clarence starts having the same dream repeatedly until he encounters a kid who looks just like him. This kid introduces himself as Jeremy, and they hit it off like brothers, enjoying their time together. But when Jeremy wants the dream to end, Clarence drops a bomb. They're in a dream, and Clarence is trying to send signals to his own body to close the garage and stay in the dream with Jeremy. Just as things get intriguing, Clarence wakes up right as he's closing the garage. Mary catches him and asks about it, so he spills the beans about his dream and the kid who made sure the garage stayed open. It's like a dream within a dream, adding another layer of mystery to Clarence's world. Now here's where the plot thickens, with a theory suggesting that the kid in Clarence's dream might be his late brother, Jeremy. Let's break it down. First off, the shoe size of this dream Jeremy is a tiny size 2. A quick Google search tells us that size 2 shoes typically fit a 6-month-old baby. This could mean that the kid in Clarence's dream is around the age of 7 months. Now, the theory takes a somber turn. The speculation is that Jeremy might have met an unfortunate end. The dream, where the garage wasn't closed, implies that the kid crawled out and, tragically, got hit by a car, leading to his passing. The car in the dream acts as a symbolic sign of this accident. Of course, it's essential to note that this is all based on theories and assumptions, adding another layer of mystery to the story. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces, leaving us with intriguing questions about Clarence's past. Now, let's zoom in on the Balance episode, where things get pretty intense. Balance, with a score to settle, planned to attack Clarence using one of his most haunting memories, the burning accident. This was a seriously traumatic event for Clarence, where he found himself surrounded by fire, resulting in the tragic loss of his 7-month-old brother, Jeremy. It's the kind of memory that would stick with anyone, but oddly enough, Clarence doesn't recall it. Balance, being the villain he is, was seeking revenge on Clarence, and he chose to do it through the memory of that burning accident. After Balance got tossed into the dark unknown, a place nestled in the world of Over the Garden Wall, something interesting unfolds. Balance tells a story to Jeremy, who is chilling in the crib. As Jeremy dreams, he stumbles upon a hidden memory within Clarence's unconsciousness, the painful recollection of the burning accident. Now, here's the kicker. The reason why Jeremy's soul ended up in the unknown was that he didn't want Clarence to forget about him. It's like a bittersweet twist in the tale, adding a whole new layer of emotion and connection between Clarence and his lost brother. Skipping ahead a bit, we see Jeremy and Talents joining forces in the A Nightmare on Aberdale Street episode. And once again, it's all tied to Balance seeking revenge on Clarence. This time, Clarence eats a ton of candy, dozes off, and plunges into a dream world. It's in this dream where Balance tries to pull off a kidnapping stunt, targeting Clarence and his pals. But fear not, Jeremy steps in as the hero, attempting to help Clarence take control of his dream and thwart Balance's wicked plans. As the dream unfolds, Balance is on the verge of achieving his goal. But surprise, surprise, Clarence manages to free everyone from the clutches of Balance's dream prison. It's a victory. And here's the cool part. In the end, Clarence not only saves the day but also finds healing from his past trauma, all by defeating the bad guy. It's like facing your fears head-on and coming out stronger on the other side. Now, shifting gears to Gilbin, things took a turn for the better in his relationships with others. He picked up carving, honing his skills to the point where he could speed up plant growth just by using his mind. It's like he found a new superpower. On to Jeff, he had a secret he was kinda shy about, having 6 toes on his foot. He trusted Clarence with this secret, swearing him to secrecy. But oops, Clarence spilled the beans to the entire school. The surprising part? Everyone accepted Jeff, flaws and all. Then, there's Clarence's 10th birthday, when Chad and Mary gifted him his dream bicycle. It's like a dream coming true. Sumo also earned his father's respect, proving his capabilities after rocking the Vice musical. But life isn't all smooth. At the start of a new school year, Miss Baker dropped a bomb. 3 students, including Sumo, were getting transferred to another school. Jeff felt a pang of jealousy, thinking that the other school was better. Clarence, on the other hand, was just confused and sad about not seeing one of his best pals anymore. Despite the change, they all agreed to meet after school and keep playing together. Chad, seizing the moment, played with the bands he abandoned 8 years ago for one last time. Meanwhile, Mary had a bittersweet reunion with Damien, her long-lost love. Turns out Damien found his true love, and he's no longer the womanizer he used to be. In one of the episodes, the focus shifted to the theme of growing up, all thanks to Gilbin and his mustache. Clarence couldn't shake off the feeling of unease as he grappled with the idea that being a kid isn't forever, that he had to grow up someday. It was a bit of a struggle, but in the end, they all came to accept the inevitable reality of growing up. It's like facing the uncertainty of the future but finding peace with it along the way. Now, in the grand finale titled Anywhere But Sumo, just 2 days away from summer vacation, Sumo, Jeff, and Clarence stumbled upon an old couch in the garbage, perfect for a chill hangout, except for Jeff, who had his germ concerns. As they settled in, Clarence had a sudden recollection. It was the annual anniversary of when they first met, back when Sumo chopped off his own hair. Feeling the nostalgia, they decided to recreate the moment because Sumo's hair had grown longer. Clarence went to grab the trimmer from his mom, but when he returned, someone else had already done done the deed. This left Clarence feeling betrayed and disheartened on the last day of school, even as everyone else celebrated with happy tears at their goodbye party. In a touching scene, Clarence, feeling the weight of the moment, goes back to the dirty couch and snips off the last bit of hair on Sumo's head. Jeff, overcoming his germ fears, joins them on the couch. And just when you think it's all calm, the school gets destroyed, making way for a new one. And, oh boy, there's a little surprise. Miss Baker and Mr. Bernstein get caught making out in the class. It's like a whirlwind of emotions, nostalgia, and unexpected surprises on the last day of school. Alright, now let's dive into the last hidden secret of Clarence. In the 5th episode of the 2nd season, titled Plain Excited, things take a dramatic turn. Dilys, the grandma, sadly passes away, and Mary decides to fly to the funeral. Surprisingly, Clarence doesn't feel a hint of sadness. Turns out he didn't really like her much. Meanwhile, Chad, being paranoid about flying for the first time, ends up in the cockpit with Mary. And guess what? The captain lets them take the wheel. But here comes the twist. A bird smacks into the cockpit glass, causing a panic. They start pressing every button, and the plane takes a nosedive. It's left unclear, but something tells me they might have crashed. I'm not entirely sure, but let's piece together some clues. Now, let's rewind to episode 24 of the 1st season named Pilot Expansion. The gang is at a nursing home chatting about how they met 88 years ago. Sumo brings up meeting at the Knight's Chicken restaurant, but Jeff corrects him, saying they didn't meet there. Oddly, despite showing signs of Alzheimer's, Clarence vividly recalls shaving Sumo's hair. Here's where it gets interesting. If you look closely, Clarence has no legs, hinting at an injury from the plane crash. The others are also legless, leading to the assumption that they lost them due to aging. But hold up, in episode 18 of the 1st season and a glimpse into the future, Jeff and Sumo still have their legs, unlike Clarence. And there you have it, folks. The mysteries of Clarence, his adventures, and a few hidden secrets that make you think. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, take care.